Well, guys, we're back. Today I'm going to be joined by an absolute legend in Irish swimming. Can't wait. Double Olympian, many European medals, and sure, a few Irish records in between while you're at it. No easy feat. But today we're going to delve into the importance of being your true self, life outside of the sport, but also being misunderstood by those around you. It might get a little deep, but it's definitely worth the dive. Had to get a wee swimming note in there. But if you like what you hear, make sure to follow the pod. Sure, while you're at it, give us a wee review. You're already there. It'll only take you a wee sec. And yeah, that's it. Let's get into it and enjoy the episode. I am thrilled, buzz, hyped to be joined by fellow Northern Irish athlete, absolute nutcase like myself, and legend of the pool. She's like a fish in water. Danielle Hill, welcome to Unboxed.
I'm doing good. I've already been in the water, done my fish duties, so yeah, I'm actually thrilled to be here. It's not very often that we get asked to do these kind of things, so I massively out of the comfort zone, but jumped at it, and no better person I suppose to be doing it with than fellow Larnian.
Yeah, for me, I'm like super buzzed to have you here. Yeah, me and you have just caused mayhem in the gym since way back. So I thought, who else would cause more mayhem on a podcast than me, than being on with you? So yeah, but let's just do a quick recap of Danielle Hill. So double Olympian, so obviously Tokyo and Paris, casual behavior. 2024 European champion. Was that short course or long course?
So that was long course, yeah, just a couple of months ago.
Mad behavior. And 3-time Commonwealth finalist.
Yeah.
You're just, like, for someone so young, you have a mad resume already. Like, insane.
Yeah, like even you just saying like some of those things, obviously a few of them are quite recently, so some are this year, some are just within the past 2 years, like, so it's still very new to me. And the European champion, I suppose, especially gives me extra goosebumps because it was this year and I know where I started at the start of the year, so it had a little bit of extra meaning behind it. So yeah, listen, it's not why I'm in the sport, but I'll take every accolade I can get along the way. So it's been a whirlwind. I think 6 years I've done all that. So yeah, it's just mad.
It's crazy. I can imagine even just like thinking back on it now, you're just like, that's insane. Because I don't know about you, like I always find whenever I'm in the moment of stuff, you're just like, oh yeah, it's just another training, it's just another game, it's just another swim, whatever. Do you ever find that you have like moments where you're like, oh, this is actually insane what I'm doing here?
I suppose when you come home, and I coach in the swimming club, and those parents of the children, or the children themselves, are incredible, but the parents especially, I'm like some kind of hero. And it's like I just swam like up and down, like I don't see it as anything. But um as you say, like I think as athletes we just get caught up in everything, and it's so easy to get caught up. And it's not until maybe you're injured or until something happens and you have to sit back and you get time to reflect, because we're always on the go and we're always asking what's next. And as soon as I became European champion, I wasn't allowed to celebrate it because I had Olympic Games. And so, like, myself, I haven't even sat down and realised, what I'd done for myself, but also for the sport of Irish swimming. And so, yeah, it's a special moment. And, my mom and my dad keep me grounded. Would never get away with having a big ego in this house. So, um, yeah, it's a special moment, but again, I'm not really in it for that reason. Of course, it's nice to see everything pay off as a medal, but if I can also help inspire and create a pathway for other people, then that's also equally as important as for me.
Yeah, I definitely can imagine going back into the club. Like, how does that feel when the kids come up to you and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, Danielle, Danielle, Danielle!" Like, you must, yeah. How does that feel? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, it's not so much now. But at the very start, when I first started it, like it was like we just spent an hour of the session actually talking and an hour swimming, because they just wanted to find out everything about me. And it was like I was that inspiration. I think now they do kind of see me as a coach, but would catch themselves on, if I go to competitions and there's other people coming up and asking for photos, and they're like, oh, we don't kind of realize how lucky we are to have Danielle as our coach, and it's special, and I don't want the special treatment, but it's always nice to have, and it's good for the confidence, because I know I'll always have people there in my corner. I think that's the most important thing, and no matter the result, they think I'm awesome, because parents and kids at that age, they don't fully understand swimming. So it's nice because it kind of brings you back down to earth, and makes you realize, why you started it as well. So yeah, they're awesome to have, and hopefully now I can help some of them on their journey to where I am.
Okay, well then let's rewind it back a bit until Lil Danielle. Lil Little short stump. Danielle, what were you like when you were younger?
Oh, I was an absolute melt. Um, I probably
For those that don't know what a milt is, because it's a very localized term for us, how would we describe a milt?
oh, just someone you're like, will you just shut up? Just
A pain in the arse.
yeah, yeah, one of them. Um, I don't know. I was full of energy as a kid. Like I have an older sister, that I wanted to beat in everything that I'd done. And I would never sit still. And probably still the same to this day, to be honest. Haven't really grown up or changed. Um, but yeah, full of energy. And so competitive in everything that I done, whether it was writing or singing or music, like anything. I was just competitive. But yeah, an absolute nightmare, and I wouldn't want my child to be anything like I was. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I think me and you were probably a bit similar then. It was like no E numbers were allowed in the suites.
Yeah,
Had to get out to every sport to burn off the energy before coming home. Half the time never came home in
yeah.
time.
There's a reason they stopped at me. So
Fair. That was enough for them. Your sister was the nice, perfect first child, and then Danielle came along.
yeah, look, me and Louise are polar opposites in many ways, but everyone loves her, and not so loved by most. But
Ah, no, I'd say you'd be loved very much as well, hun.
good at sports, that's all right.
Here, how is your relationship with your sister? Because most people, I feel, don't realize, like, whenever you play sports, it's kind of like you almost seem like an only child. Do you know what I mean? Like I come from a family, there's four of us, and it was always like, oh, Aisha, the hawk, like, didn't know I had siblings. So, like, I can, like, how is that relationship with your sister? Does she, support what you do? Does she love getting behind you? Was there a competitive aspect, as you said? How's that?
Yeah, so my sister is 5 years older than me. She was also a swimmer. So the reason I started swimming, I suppose I will always put down to her, is because that I wanted to beat her. And as Louise is in the water, you could see me like doing laps around the pool. It was like, Danielle, will you just sit still? It's like, nah, I want to be in there. Like, so she was the reason why, everything started out, how it was. And um, she was a competitive swimmer. She was also champion, but as soon as she went to university, she stopped that. And that was purely just because there was someone faster than her that was always selected. And so she was like, you know what, I'm quite smart. I want to be a teacher. Like, there's more to life than swimming. And so she kind of walked away from it. But she would be nothing but supportive. And especially over the last few years, she cancelled numerous things to be at my competitions, which isn't relatively new, but is something that just over the past few years she started to do. And she extended her trip in Paris so that she could stay all week to watch me. And I was like, oh, there must be something important happening. That's why I just kept saying to everyone, I was like, there must be something important if Louise is coming to watch. So um yeah, she's incredible. And we went to the same school, and she was my head girl in my school. And the reason why I went for head girl, obviously I didn't get it, but she did. So that says it all, I suppose. But yeah, like, she would be always my go-to person. Anything I do wrong or go wrong, it's like, okay, the first person I'll talk to is Louise, because she's got the sensible head on. But yeah, most definitely supports everything that I do, and most recently has, kind of got back into swimming. And actually, we joked the other night sitting in the living room that she was going to join my master's session. So I take a master's in the club, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get back into swimming." It's like, I don't have a hat, goggles, bag, or swimsuit. I was like, Louise, I'm sure I have a spare few of those. I like it.
A few in the collection might work.
So like, yeah, she's amazing. But as I said, we are polar opposites. But I know that she'll always be in my corner. Like, so it's nice to have.
Do you find that because you are so polar opposites, that's why your relationship maybe works so well?
Yeah, it probably is. She would beg to differ, and that we would actually be quite similar. And my mom as well would beg to differ in that I'm actually the more like kind-hearted, generous one, where like Louise would be quite like snappy and sharp.
Mm.
So like it's weird, but I suppose yeah, that is why. And going through school together as well, you know, I'd always be around at lunchtime. I was like, "Have you got any lunch left?" It's like that, and not the sister.
Feed me, I'm hungry.
I ate lunch at break, so yeah, I'm sure I'm a pain in her ass, but yeah, I'd be lost without her. To be fair.
Yeah, fair. I can imagine that uh, she's also come along this journey with you, and just to see you grow up
Yeah.
and then now become this.
I was that kid running around poolside, and she was the swimmer at one point, and now it's like you're Danielle's sister, and it's like I went into school the other week, and she teaches now in the school that we went to, and they were like, "Oh my word, you're Miss Hill's sister," and I was like, "No, no," I was like, "What call me that? She is my sister." Just for years, that's what we've had. So yeah, I didn't like it whenever the roles were reversed, but
The joy of being the younger sibling. Here, at what point did you believe that you were like, I can do this, I can be a good swimmer, I want to go after this?
you know what? I'm going to be brutally honest, and some might believe me and some won't, but I actually don't think I'm ever in that mindset. I don't think I've ever been in that mindset. If you were to talk to my mum and dad, they would probably say the same and just have a little bit of belief, Danielle, even just a little bit, and you could be like incredible. Um, but I suppose that from my mindset and why I swim is because I want to create a pathway for other people and show them that it's possible. And so that I don't need to feel like I'm this incredible human to be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, self belief lacks a little bit. But especially this year coming through, and you know, I'm now ranked top 8 in the world in 100 backstroke, and I walked away European champion. So obviously that gives me confidence, but I still wouldn't go to a world stage and go, I've got this shit. So it's quite hard, but it is something that I'm trying to work on, because I just don't have any confidence in anything that I do. Like it's so bad. Even sitting here like talking, it's just horrendous.
Do you find that misconception maybe about you where people might think you have this big ego and you're this big character and whatnot? Do you find that quite hard to actually then manage?
Yeah, it's something that you live up to. And I've said this numerous times to you know the people that I'm closest to. It's almost like when I walk into a room, if Danielle's not laughing, joking, or smiling, there's something wrong. And it's like, okay, well then I have to be that joker in the room, or else there's an issue. And so that is something that I've grown up with the whole way through secondary school as well. It was exactly the same. You know, I was the joker in the class, and I was always in trouble because of it. But it was like if I wasn't being that person, then there was an issue, or like people didn't like me as much, and I was like, well, I want to be liked. Everybody wants to be liked. So yeah, I suppose over the years, and now as I get older, it's like, well, I don't actually care what people think. So I can now walk into a room and just sit down and not feel any type of way. So,
Do you find that easier or do you find that harder just to walk in and just, I'm gonna just sit here?
oh, I wish I could walk into any room and just sit,
Yeah.
because that mask that I've worn for so long is like my nickname in and around the pool is D, and I just wish that a few other people would understand that I am Danielle and that I also am a human, and this whole like character. And like, don't get me wrong, like I can be funny at times, can't we all?
I can confirm you can be quite funny at times.
Constantly be at that level for like what 10 years now is so tough.
Hmm.
And this year, like it was learning to like remove all of that and strip it all back. It's like whoever doesn't like you. That's fine. So
It's almost like you're kind of stepping into that more comfort zone of yourself in the way that, like, okay, if you like me for who I am, I will still connect with you. I will still be the fun, jokey person around you. But it's like, if people can't accept you when you want to be quiet, not that there's anything wrong. I say this because, like, I relate so much to this in the sense that, like, yeah, me and you being in the gym together, we were always the jokers, always the mad ones, whatnot. But it's actually like I'd be the same. You do it because you think you have to, because people otherwise are like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong. What's wrong with Aisha today? Or what's wrong with Danielle? Blah, blah, blah. We have to go and we have to make sure they're okay. But it's like, no, I actually just don't want to talk. I don't have the energy to put on a show for you. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, and it is that constant like living up to something, and it was like, well, hold on a second, Danielle, you're 24 now. It's like you got to be doing stuff for yourself, and that's what I've learned this year is to take every day as it is, and enjoy everything and smile through everything. I think that's one thing that I've taken on board is that I don't smile ever. And so this year I was like, okay, let's make a conscious effort to smile a little bit more, so that if you do walk into a room and sit quietly, people know you're okay. Um, but yeah, like it's a huge burden. And not something that I necessarily would ever change, because I feel it has gotten me to this point and made me kind of indestructible. Um, but yeah, it was just through high school, especially, got me in so much trouble for just always being the joker in the room. So
It's all right. Someone had to do it. Otherwise, school would be a bit boring, you know? That's what I tell myself.
I'm gonna use that one.
A few detentions later, sure, like, why would I change it now at this point?
You can't change anything.
No, not at all. But do you find now that because you are a bit more, I don't want to say comfortable with yourself. I don't know if we're all ever fully comfortable with ourselves. I would love to know those people who are and give me a few tips. But do you find that that has maybe allowed you to help relax a bit more in the pool and just come back to knowing what you can do?
Yeah, it's weirdly given me more confidence, because I know that what I'm doing is true to myself. And as you say, like in and around the pool, Lauren is such a special place to me, because I've been there for 12 years.
Come on, Lauren.
They watched me grow up, and they know that I can
Yeah.
be a moody little shit, but they also know the highest of highs of me. And,
Hmm.
it's so special because they don't expect anything, and I said the other week to my friend that, me and Peter, my coach, we could go a week without talking. That's the level of comfort that we have around each other. And,
Hmm.
when people say, do you not want to go to America? Do you not think you need to change something for the next 4 years? And I'm like, absolutely not, because I wouldn't want someone else to have to go through the process that Peter went through to learn and understand me as a human, because
Hmm.
it's not easy. Like, as you say, I don't even understand myself. And that trust that we have between ourselves is incredible. And it's definitely, I think, portrayed into the pool a lot this year. And is without swimming any faster is the reason why I am swimming faster. So it's been a nice change. It hasn't been easy. It's been hard. It's been talking to someone every week for an hour, which I absolutely hate, but has made me this person. So no, yeah, listen, it's life, and we all go through it, I suppose, at some stage. So yeah, it was a nice change.
Do you find that relationship with your coach, because it has like developed through the years and he's really able to see you truly for who you are, that also helps you whenever you're going into swimming or into training or whatever, and you're maybe having an off day or whatever, or you're having a great day? Do you find that that relationship with him, because it's been built through years, is easier then, that you don't maybe have to confront it or have to fake kind of who you are, put that mask on?
Yeah, like Peter is incredible, and I will never tell him because he doesn't need it. But uh, to understand me is not easy. And I met a teacher at the weekend. I went to Portrush, and she was out, and she stopped me, and she was like, "Oh my word, Danielle, I am so proud of you," and all this stuff. And she had talked about, no one ever understood you as a student, as a pupil, but it's so lovely to see you've, grown up and become this lovely woman. And I was like, you were one of those teachers that never took to just sit and understand me. I was like, not every kid is going to sit and understand biology here. I was like a little bit of fun in the class, like you absolutely hated it. And I was like, that's just. And my sister is a teacher, as I said, and my mom is a classroom assistant, and they come home and they talk about stories, and I'm like, Mom, I was that kid, and I was like, just give the child a second to breathe. And
Yeah.
yeah, with Peter, like I never question anything. He knows everything in my life, and I mean everything. And it's I don't think many people in Ireland have that relationship with their coach, especially not within swimming, and especially a male female relationship. Where he knows literally the ins and outs of my monthly cycles. He knows, the off days I can openly go in, and he'll go, okay, let's change this up. And maybe not for the rest of the squad. So it maybe means that, I'm sitting in the five doing my own thing. But that's how it is. And it's the same for the rest of the squad. He's always there to openly talk. And he used to be this big, scary, bald man with a beard. And now he's got two kids. He's like this big, fluffy teddy bear. And he's mellowed out.
I'm sure he would love to hear that.
He,
Big scary ball man with a beard. Now he's a big fluffy teddy bear.
and he's mellowed out. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough of him. And it just so happens that he has the surname of Hill. So I guess it's
Hmm.
just all in the name.
It is. It must be. You're climbing those hills together. That was
That
terrible.
was
Sorry, I take that back. That was absolutely
He's
atrocious.
gonna hang up.
Yeah, the end. Here, but so you spoke, or like you quoted after the last Olympics, it was ever since the Olympics something had not been clicking. There was a constant disappointment, and I thought, what am I doing this for? Am I chasing something that isn't there? Was it, who would you say in that moment, or those people that were a big turning point for you to, yeah, try and flip yourself around?
I think firstly I have to say my family. The disappointment that I was feeling last year was sadness and loneliness that I had never experienced before. A totally new emotion, and the first people that I turned to was my mum and my sister, who both were on holiday, and no matter what, picked up the phone call whenever I needed it. And then I would have to say, obviously, the Sports Institute set me up with a psychologist in Jessie Barr, who is an ex Olympian and all round absolute legend. And, that first conversation that we had made me realize that there was, a deeper issue, a real issue there, and more than just wanting to perform on the stage. And so, yeah, the Peter obviously was massive, but I kind of ignored him and blocked him out.
Oh,
Weirdly enough.
bless.
So, but again, he had that understanding that at that time he wasn't what I needed, and he didn't push it, or he didn't try and stick his nose in it. So he gave me the time that I needed to just think, because at the time I had no idea what I was going through, and I didn't know who I needed. And I think family is always there. My dad is the sporty one of the family, so talking to him is a little less rational, because it's like he just spits facts, and like men are like this tough character, and so he would always just tell me to be like, right, okay, like come on, you're fine, like back in the water. But with mom, there's a certain degree of just sitting and listening, and I think that's what this year has been, is just a case of me spielen and someone listening and being on the other end and just going, yeah, I understand. Um, So yeah, I would have to say that the mom and the sister have been incredible this year. And maybe the reason why Louise has taken that little bit of interest, because she knows where I was at in September, and how far I've come. So family.
Family, as you say with an eye roll. But do you find that, like, even talking with them, do you feel that there's like a, I don't want to say a release or kind of weight lifted off your shoulders, but do you find like small moments where that has happened, that you're like, okay, this is helping. It might not feel comfortable. It might not be something I openly want to do, but there is that small bit in your chip in your shoulder that you're like, okay, there is something in this.
Yeah, I suppose the first time I sat down, especially with Jesse, and I cried for an hour straight, and I wouldn't really be a crier. And I was like, okay, there's something seriously wrong. And she hung up the phone, and I instantly wanted to get back in the water. And I suppose that was my release. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can go again. I can absolutely do this. And it was like a renewing confidence in me is let's go and prove, the people that if you don't want me to do something, don't tell me to not do it because I will absolutely prove you wrong. And that has always been my mindset. And I suppose that's where, my mom, anytime we would have sat down, anytime we sat down over my whole swimming career, it was do your talking in the water. And that was always with my mom. She'll still say that to this day. And, she was like, for the first time ever, I think, in my swimming career, was like, Danielle, if you need to stop, if this is the end, then that's absolutely fine. And there was an understanding there, and I was like, okay, that's very real. And like she said it to me, and I was like, do I though? Do I really want to do that? And again, it was that walking away on my own terms. I was like, Danielle, you can either just speak to somebody, literally just pick up the phone and call somebody here and get some help, or you're going to be forced out of the sport that you love so much and that has given you so much. And that's where that came from. So, yeah, that initial relief with Jessie was incredible to the point where I wanted to get back in the water because I spent 4 weeks not wanting to touch water, not even to say the word swimming. Don't actually get in and swim. So,
Yeah, I can imagine. I can. No, I do understand what that feels like.
yeah,
Whenever you're in that kind of pit and you're like, the fact that you don't even want to say the word or acknowledge that you almost do it.
yeah,
Because I don't know, did you find that that was almost your identity in a way? That everyone was just like, this is Danielle, like she's a swimmer, that is that.
yeah.
Did you ever find that part hard where everyone just associated with you with being in the pool with swimming and that was all you did?
Yeah, even at the highs, like I struggle with that. And I hate, the being the front page and being the cover girl, and I hate all that nonsense. Like that's not why I'm in swimming. Like I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Having that whenever I go on holiday, it's so funny and it's going to sound so weird probably to people, but to athletes it might sound pretty normal that I don't bring my swimming bag as my backpack, and I don't bring a suitcase that has Swim Ireland or like Team Ireland or the Olympic rings on it. I just go with a normal suitcase. And last year I was like, you know what, mom, whenever I leave, I don't want that bag to be in the house whenever I come back. I was like, I just hope it's all gone. I was like, I just want to forget about swimming. And I suppose that's the nice thing with my friends is that they're swimmers as well. But when we go away, we don't talk about swimming. Like, swimming is a curse word. And it's so easy. Last year it was so easy to escape that, but I only went on holiday for a week, and then I was back to reality of it all, and it was like, what's next? I was getting all these phone calls. Obviously, you're coming into the Olympic year. It's like, what are you doing? Were you training? You left last year, not so great. Are you going to change things up? And it was like, why me? It was like, just go on picking someone else. So yeah, the mask of the swimmer is something that has gotten me so far, and I do love it to a certain extent. Um, but when it associates me with everything, I'm like, it gets tiring, and it does weigh you down. But again, has opened so many opportunities and so many doors that I am thankful for. So a little bit like social media, like it's good when it's done properly, but it's horrendous when it's not used properly. So
I know. Do you ever find that, like, whenever people call you, you're like, I am more than just a swimmer. Like, stop just talking about this. Like, ask me what else I do on my time. Like, there's so many times where I just want to be like, is this all you have to ask? Like, the same, the way you get the, like, same 20 questions in a row, and you're like, right, you just spiel the same answer back to them because you're just like, you don't even care what I say.
no, yeah, and that is it, and that's why I hate doing any media things because you just want something to put on a headline. I was like, you don't actually know me as a person. There's very few interviewers, if not only maybe one or two, that actually know you as a human and the struggles that you have really faced. And yeah, it goes back to that mask that you put on, to be the happy, outgoing, it's that same mask, and it's, when I strip that all back and I'm not the swimmer, will you love me just as much, or am I forgotten about? And we all know the answer. So it's one of those things I think as an athlete you just kind of have to put up with. But yeah, it should
Yeah.
be tolerated.
I think that's why, like, one reason why I really wanted to start doing this, because I was just so fed up with everyone just being like, oh, you're Aisha, you play hockey. And I'm like, yeah, that is like a very small part of who I am. And I'm like, if you're only willing to accept that part of me, I'm like, then you know what? Like, I'm done. Like, I don't care. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to do what's right for me. And then
That's
if you want it, you want it. If you don't, good chats.
Yeah, like that 10% of you is actually really boring compared to the other 90% that you've got to offer. It's like just take the time to know, but if
Yeah.
only.
Right. Well, then, okay. Say if you were going to meet someone's granny and they were like, who is Danielle Hill? What would you say to them? Regardless of your swimming.
She's ginger, first of all. I think that has to be stated because that just automatically shows you, okay, she's a nut job. He's just like fun loving, kind person. Like just, and the word kind seems so simple and small, but something that's the best thing you could describe me as is being kind. I because I have that outgoing attitude and I'm the loudest in the room, it's like, oh, she could never be kind. It's like, there's always someone that's better than her. So I think if someone was to call me kind, I think I'd start crying.
Yeah. I think that that in itself, even just how you explained yourself there, shows that you're just not this, yeah, big personality in a room that if someone actually sat down to chat to you for like literally 10 minutes, they get a completely different side. And I think that's something that one, you should be so proud of because it's not everyone can just sit and do that. So yeah, one, well done, because obviously the work you're doing is don't start crying because then I'll start crying. But then no, but it just shows that like the work you're doing on yourself is so much more important than say the work that you do in the pool or whatever, because it gives you, you get so much more pride if someone was to turn around and be like, oh, or like here say, oh, Danielle's actually really kind. Like, and I would, oh yeah, I would never have not thought that because I think we come from quite similar boats in the sense that we have that mask, we're the mad ones, but
Yeah,
we actually have several layers just that no one knows.
yeah, that no one knows is aware of. But yeah, yeah, the whole kindness thing is something, and that I would rather be described, yeah, for my personality or for how I've acted rather than what I've done. Is the way to put it.
Do you find that having things like away from your swimming, so obviously you were doing your studies on the education, get the piece of paper,
Trying.
but do you find do you find things like that helped you connect with other people around you?
Well, it's so funny, and it's gonna sound so sad. I started uni with one friend, and I left with one friend because I didn't put myself out there. And
Quality, not quantity.
if I was to redo university, I would probably do it differently, just so that I had more experience, But I'm going back into university here in September to do a master's, and I don't have that one friend. I don't have that security blanket, and so I'm absolutely bricking it. I'm like you're gonna have to unveil yourself here. There's there's no loud person in university. You can't go in singing and dancing because then you're an absolute prick. So it's like, okay,
To be like, who's your one? Come and stay away from her.
yeah, exactly. So avoid at all costs. So um, I suppose this is going to be the real tester for me in that can you just be yourself, Danielle? And if one person is your friend, cool. If seven people are your friends, awesome. Equally as cool. And equally so, if I do walk out still standing by myself, I'd be happy. Because I think that's where I'm at in life, and I think I've got my people, and the people that support me and that have been through the rubbish times, and that don't just stay for all the good parts.
What are you going to do your master's in?
Strength and conditioning,
Where?
Ulster.
Beast.
Mm.
Okay.
Then
Well, that'll be. Are you excited about that? Like, what do you want to do with that? Go be an S&C coach?
Yeah, so I suppose the whole thinking behind it is still swimming related, of course. Can't let it go.
It's in there. It's in the
The
soul.
blood, yeah. So, um, now that I'm a coach, and I've been a coach now for nearly 3 years, and I'm learning from Peter, which is one of the best. And the one question that we always get asked is, what should so and so be doing in the gym? First of all, your child's 12, shouldn't be near gym.
Fair.
Let's put that. But it's like, swimming is so different because it's a sport that's in water. All other sports are on land or whatever, and um, no one has any kind of information of what the hell to do. And you go to maybe a PT, but they will send you through a normal PT course, and they don't understand swimming. And so, my thinking behind it was that I could go and not only be a swim coach, but I can help. Firstly, I want to help obviously Lawrence Swimming Club and educate people around what to be doing or what not to be doing. And then from there on, if I move away from swimming, then I would love to go and work in a sports team. um I think all the thrills that come with that would just suit my personality a little bit more than stuck in a gym somewhere taking clients. So yeah, the dream behind it is to firstly start with swimming and educate as many people as I humanly possibly can, and then from there on, I'll see. My dad would probably love for me to go to a Premier League team or something like that. So if anyone's listening, sign me
What team? This is the big question. This is a big question. What team would he want you to go to?
Liverpool.
Oh, go away. Oh, we can't be at that now. No, no, no.
I'm
No, 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 no. Sure, that can be something we'll work on later down the line, eh?
still finding myself.
Yeah, still figuring the paths out, where we're going to tiptoe, where we're going to end up.
Along with.
Uh, but are you excited to have something like that? Like, this is clearly a goal that you've wanted to achieve or wanted to give back and educate people. Are you excited for, yeah, that's actually, you're on the steps to make that happen?
Yeah, because it's been a while since I've been in uni. So I graduated in 2022, and then I kind of took those 2 years to really focus on Paris. And so to be going back, like to have structure in my day, it's going to sound so simple and pathetic, but to have structure in my day is going to be incredible. And I'm not
Oh, preach.
for 7 hours of the day. So that's kind of the main reason behind it all. But as you say, there is a love and a passion there to help and to educate others. And the reason why I'm on this whole journey is to do that. So if I can add something to my layer to help others, then that's going to be amazing. And originally I wanted to do physiotherapy, and they moved it to Derry, and it was just too much for swimming. And
Hmm.
the reasoning behind that was obviously because I got injured, and my physio at the time was just incredible for me, and that comfort blanket that I needed. And I was like, I'd love to be that for some. The exact reason I started coaching, I had that coach and thought I'd love to be that for somebody else. And so strength and conditioning, I got a new S&C coach, Ryan, who has actually started his PhD on swimming because he just loves the sport so much. And it's like people like that, you're like, I just want to be like him. And that's where the inspiration came. And it was only over the past year that I had kind of thought about it, and going that I can still help people. It might be a different route than the physiotherapy, but it can still be something that I can add to people and help educate with. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm not excited for all the school work and like sitting at a computer for like 7 hours like a shriveled little biscuit, but I'm sure I'll get over that.
No, well, I think just from all of this chat, the main things that I've got from actually a real Danielle Hill is that, one, you're quite insecure in yourself, but you're very much working on that and who you are and who you want to become. But there's this huge part of you that just wants to help and educate and be kind to others that not many people see. And I think that is something that, yeah, I hope a lot of people will take away from this, that a lot of times athletes will put on this front in a way. But actually, away from that, there's so much more emotions that and just things that we want to share and we want to give and we want to help that people don't understand. So, yeah, I just want to say huge thanks for your open honesty, because yeah, it's, as you said, it's completely out of your comfort zone. So to do this, I think is, yeah, it's a huge huge step, and I really really appreciate you taking the time
Yeah, yeah.
to do this and just chat with me, the bobblehead, but with my yellow wallpaper.
That's lovely. No, yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, because as I said, it is that one step closer to helping someone, and I think you're doing the exact same. So it's nice to also help others. So
Thanks, hon. Appreciate that. Okay, well, we finish on some questions.
yep,
Okay, what's your favorite time of the day?
night.
What's the biggest compliment you've ever received?
Probably something to do with the ginger hair, to be honest. Like from old people, because they just absolutely love your hair color's lovely. I wish I had that when I was younger.
Take it, take it. The biggest learning experience you've ever had?
I would have to say World Championships last year.
What makes you smile the most?
Food,
Oh, relatable, completely relatable. Okay, three things you can't live without.
a water bottle, perfume, a swimming suit, probably. I don't know, it's might need it.
You
We're
never,
going
yeah,
for
exactly, you never
dinner.
know.
We're going for dinner and staying the night. I don't know why I brought the swimming suit.
Okay, what's inspiring you in your life right now?
The kids that I coach, I'd have to say, yeah.
That's sweet. Hopefully they hear this. I'll clip this bit and you can send it on to them.
Okay.
Okay, if you weren't a swimmer, what would you be? Maybe we've already asked this, but or answered this, but
Footballer, definitely.
ooh, what position?
I'd have to be on the wing so I could just run. Just run.
Fair. Do shuttles up and down the side.
Run. I would say hockey, except running with the ball wasn't really my forte. So
I can imagine it's maybe a bit of a different strength.
yeah, so developed it.
Next one. What is the biggest misconception about you?
That I am this confident, outgoing, egotistical probably person.
Fair. Something you're tired of?
Oh, I was gonna say swimming. Only because I trained this morning. Inequality in sport. So done.
Snaps to that.
So done. Sick of the
So done.
over it. I'm just ready for people to start doing shit about it.
Could not agree more.
Yeah.
The end. Full stop. Exclamation mark. People, everyone do better.
Yeah.
Okay, last two questions. Who do you turn to when you need lifted up?
Probably my dad, because he's the guy that makes everyone laugh. He is the reason why I am the way I am. He is the joker of the family, and so if anyone needs picked up, like you talk to him and you'll be smiling within 5 seconds. So
Here, I might need his number. I might need some help from him.
On this podcast, if you really wanted.
Get him just popping in the background. Could be brilliant. Okay, and last and final one. How do you stay unboxed to be the true Danielle Hill?
I think being open and honest, not only with everyone else, but with myself. And I think communication is the key to all successes in everything that you do. And I think that's something that I've unfortunately had to learn the hard way. But yeah, communication and just being that open and honest to everyone and with yourself in everything that you do.
Well, I don't think there's any better ending than that. I think, Danielle, you've been absolutely brilliant. I really appreciate the time you've taken out to speak to us and just be, yeah, as you say, so open with a lot of things and to really show who, yeah, a small part of Danielle Hill is. And for that, we are very grateful. So thank you very much.
Thank you.